When alt season, it's taking long, right? Let's take a look at a couple charts based on the history that show us whether we can expect an alt season pretty soon or that we have to wait a little bit. I think the outcome might be pretty interesting. So, welcome to the Fomo Factory. If you're new, subscribe, turn the bell notification on, like the video. If you're not new, also like the video, of course. It helps me push it into YouTube's algorithm. Trick them into thinking that this is good shit. Okay, now let's get into alt season. It's what we all been waiting for a very long time. And Bitcoin is currently showing like, yeah, we can do it. Maybe, maybe not. But alt season, it's not there yet, right? It's not even close to there yet. So first, let's get into what is alt season real quick, like in a couple of seconds, because a lot of people, they confuse it where altcoins just go up in price, right? Alt season. No, it's not that. Alt season is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. And that means that the Bitcoin dominance has to go down. Right now, if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, we can clearly see that alt season is not really here, right? We haven't seen an alt season in 3 years now. The last time was April 2021, and the time before that was in 2017. So we had 2 alt seasons so far. And of course, we have these smaller moves where the Bitcoin dominance moves to the downside as well. But, is that really to be called an alt season? Yeah, technically, maybe a little one, but a real alt season. We're about to get it. Look, whether Bitcoin goes to just 80K or 150K, that doesn't really matter, right? An alt season is where the Bitcoin dominance eventually goes down, and eventually that will happen. Now, there are always reasons for people to believe or fear why it would not happen this time. And let me tell you, so far, that has never worked out for someone, okay? So if you're looking at this, be like, oh man, maybe this time is different. Maybe we're not getting an alt season. That's exactly what the market wants you to think, so you can capitulate, buy Bitcoin when the Bitcoin dominance is basically at the top, and then we get an alt season, right? That's how a lot of people get wrecked. The belief has to, get away, and a lot of people are not believing anymore. So one, don't stop believing. I said it before, but crypto is on easy mode. It's so fucking easy now. Just get in the market, buy good quality altcoins, wait a year, sell, and you made a lot of money. It's that simple, right? And it can't be that simple, bro. It was hard for 3 years. It now deserves simple. Okay. So eventually, yeah, the Bitcoin dominance will go down. Right? What makes the Bitcoin dominance go down? Well, what we can see right here, if we, sorry, wrong chart. If we overlay Bitcoin, what happened in the past? And why do I look at the past? Because, yeah, that's charting, right? That's all we have. And this is so far super accurate all the time. Crypto is cyclical. The 4-year cycle is 100% intact. Everything has been super predictable so far. So it will be a little weird to now completely bet against this, right? So what we have seen so far with the 2 previous alt seasons, let me mark this off. Last alt season was kind of here, right? When the dominance really started to go down. So that was here. And the alt season before that was over here when the Bitcoin dominance started to go down. Now, what is interesting about these places? Well, first off, this was around the period where Bitcoin just made new all-time highs, right? So last cycle, Bitcoin first needed to make a new all-time high, and then the dominance went down. In this cycle as well, you can see it on this chart, but here you can see that alt season started when Bitcoin was sitting at around $1,200, right? And what was the previous all-time high for Bitcoin in that cycle? $1,200, right? So what we have seen so far is that once Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, alt season starts. Now, I don't mean the all-time high that we have seen so far, okay? I don't mean that little wick that made a slight new all-time high and then came down. I mean really breakthrough and leave it behind kind of all-time high. That first has to happen, right? Now, I can give you a lot of reasons in this video, again, why that is very likely to happen within now and give or take 2 months. But I covered that before, and I will make a separate video about that if you like, so let me know down below. Do let me know in the comments, are you prepared for alt season, and how are you prepared? Or do you feel like, nah, it's not happening, I do something different? It could also be. Let me know. I'm very curious what the community is trading. But we need Bitcoin to make a new all-time high. That's what we have seen in the last two cycles as well. And for the people that feel like, yeah, last two cycles this, last two cycles that, is that really that interesting? It is that interesting because Bitcoin so far is exactly following the last two cycles. If you look where Bitcoin came from when you compare it from the bottom until where we are right now in the last two cycles, we are like perfectly on track. I'm showing this more and more lately, but this chart is literally saying this time is not different. So, hey, if it's been completely accurate for 700 days, what's another 100 or 200 days, right? Like, well, it's been accurate for like 15 years, basically. So we know that this time is not different. So if this time is not different and it follows what it did before, then in that case, Bitcoin has to make a new all-time high, just like it did over here in 2020 and like it did in 2017. So that needs to happen first. Now, it is also a fact that alt season starts, right, in the post-halving year. Again, crypto is cyclical. We have a bottom every 4 years. We have a top every 4 years. We have a cycle every 4 years. But we also have once every 4 years an alt season, right? And that so far always happens in the post-halving year. Why? Bitcoin made new all-time highs. There were elections, which is good. It's certainty for the market. And it goes with the global money flow in the first place. And then when Bitcoin is sitting at new highs, it's not like literally everybody in that has Bitcoin is in a profit, right? And they feel like, okay, I have money, I have profit, let's put it somewhere else. And they put it into altcoins. That's a very short explanation of my theory why altcoins go after Bitcoin. So we had the first alt season in 2017. We had the second alt season in 2021. And as cyclical as it may be, we now get towards 2025, again, 4 years later. So when it comes to lining up with Bitcoin, it matches, right? It makes sense. Bitcoin is soon making new highs, in my opinion. So that fits. It fits time-wise. Does it also fit chart-wise? Because if that's the case, then we have three things combined that we, cannot ignore anymore, right? And it would be stupid to say that it this time will not happen, right? And in the first instance, it's not that the Bitcoin dominance will keep on going up forever. Like, although it might feel at the specific moment that it will, how do you think it fell over here, right? We went down and people thought, oh, finally alt season. And then altcoins got slaughtered. And then it went down again and people thought, oh, this is alt season. And they get slaughtered again. Yeah, people didn't believe it anymore. And then we got alt season. This time it's way easier. It's basically straight up, right? It's basically, there was no alt season. There were no signs of it. Everybody, sorry to put it like this, but everybody the last 2 years that has been calling for it is a moron. Unfollow them, because what in this chart shows alt season, right? So be careful with that. So, but this time is actually super easy. We know what we're up to. Altcoins are getting wrecked. Period. Point. That's it. We haven't seen any form of relief. Like these small, but what's that, right? So chart-wise, does it make sense? Well, there are multiple charts actually that show if an alt season is around the corner or not. Again, the narrative Bitcoin, it fits. The post-halving year is coming. That's enough for me to trade it already, right? But you want to confirm it with some charts. So first thing you can take a look at is the following. If you look at the Bitcoin dominance and you look at the last cycle and you take Fibonacci from the top to the bottom, you can see that it got rejected at the 618. We went here, we got rejected, we tried again, we got the final rejection before we really went into alt season. If we now put the Fibonacci over the latest cycle, you can see that the 618 comes in at 60.5%. It's now at 58, 59% basically. So, we are there. Let me put it like that. Yes, we can go there literally. We can go a little higher, but overall, if you look at this chart and you don't feel like, hey, I want to time the market exactly like you shouldn't do, right? Then we are pretty much there right now. So that's pretty, that's looking good, right? And apart from that, if you just want to double confirm some beliefs, you can also draw a horizontal line over this. This is the wrong line, but let me draw it like this over the 618. And you can see what comes in over there. Yeah, as you can see, we have resistance, we have support right here, we have support right here, right? Or resistance, support right here. So it is also a level with a lot of resistance and support. And that also applies for the Bitcoin dominance. So the dominance is showing like, okay, we are definitely not topping out yet. I mean, we are going fucking parabolic. That's kind of what it is. But we are approaching an area where we have big resistance, where the 618 comes in. That's where it got rejected last time. It's interesting. Then there's another chart because, this is the Bitcoin dominance, but this is just showing how much Bitcoin is dominating the crypto market compared to anything else in the market, right? But what else is in the market? USDT, USDC, some real high caps that you may not be interested in, XRP, right? These stable coins, right? So if we take a look at the Bitcoin dominance, but we delete USDC, USDT, DAI, and BUSD from that, then this is the dominance without the big stable coins, basically. Now, I mean, parabolic as fuck, right? That's the first thing that stands out. If we draw Fibonacci over this, you can see that we are a little above it already. So it could be that this is the kind of the area where we are going to struggle now before we get rejected, right? It's definitely a possibility. What could also be the case is, and that would be a little bad for the people that call for an Altseason, but it is a possibility, is that we go to the 786, which is here, right? And that we have some, support here, etc. So it's still, right? We're now at 63%, and that comes in at 68. That's possible, right? That's possible. But nevertheless, way further to the top than the bottom, aka way closer to turning around and giving us an Altseason than just going straight up and, putting in another Bitcoin season for a year. Then we have a chart which I think is super interesting, and that's others dominance. Now, others, for the people that don't know, is everything outside of the top 10, within the top 125, but not the high caps, no stables, etc. And therefore, we take the dominance. So how much are the real altcoins dominating the crypto space? And then this is what we get. Now, this is an interesting chart. I spoke about this a couple of times earlier as well. And this is what I find so interesting. We've been in this parallel channel for 7 years. And if you take this little resistance here, then it's 10, right? Now, if you like statistics, like you should when it comes to crypto, you could look at this and be like, well, it's 7 years, maybe even 10 against 1, right? Because we need 1 more year to finish the cycle. And that's the post-halving year, the altcoin season year, and that should go up, right? So this thing has been accurate for at least 7 years. If it's accurate for another year, then we should move up. And then it could be that, we go somewhere to the mid-range, find a little rejection, and then, that could be the summer where everything kind of sucks. And then in the later stage of 2025, it goes most parabolic. That's my personal expectation, actually. So this is showing wow, I mean, it's not really that different. It's the same as here. It's the same as here. It's the same as here. These were the best places and moments in time ever to convert your Bitcoin to altcoins. And now we're sitting at the lows again, and now there are people that say like, yeah, no, but not this time. And okay, whatever. All I know, this were all, the best chances you got. You bought the fucking bottom for altcoins, period. So yeah, it could break down for sure, but it's a matter of chances in this case, right? And the chances look really good. And there's another chart that we'd like to take a look at, and that's others, again, the altcoin market, on its Bitcoin pair. Because again, Altseason is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. So altcoins on their Bitcoin chart should, move up. Well, then we have this chart. And this chart is pretty interesting, if you ask me. Because you can already see that where we are right now, give or take, is a huge level, right? We had resistance over here. We had support. We had resistance. We had resistance around this level. When we came down in this bear market, we had support right here. We had that bear market rally, dead cat bounce, whatever you want to call it. And now we're here again. Yeah, again, like this. Look, it could all break down. But do you really want to bet on that? I don't know. I won't. I wouldn't. So this is how it looks for now. And, the short-term line, we broke that. So, yeah, too bad. Whatever. If we draw it to the actual place, this makes more sense, by the way. We have some room to go down. But overall, this is looking quite good. Like, if this was an altcoin chart, I would buy it, right? Because what you basically see is that over the longer term, you are in an uptrend. So the altcoin is super strong, but you're just buying the range lows. Yeah, that's the best thing to buy, right? And that now goes for the complete altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair. So this is a screaming buy for me. So yeah, this looks fantastic, to be honest. What's also interesting, if you take Fibonacci and you take it from the low to the high, you see that the orange line is 786. Where does it come in? Exactly here. Exactly here. And that's an interesting level. That's really an interesting level. So if this is the bottom, which has a pretty decent chance in my opinion, then it could kind of mean that our real alt season could give us some real insane levels, right? The golden zone between the 618, give or take, comes in near the previous highs already. And this chart is kind of famous for making new highs every cycle. So yeah, it's going to be fantastic. This chart is also super bullish. Then we have another chart, and that's total 3 minus USDT divided by Bitcoin. This is a chart that Benjamin Cohen looks at a lot. And what he draws is this, right? He says we will go, or there's a good chance that we will go here. And why? Because that's kind of the bottom of the range, and this right here is kind of the top of the range. And he says like, oh, we're ranging like this. I made a tier list, and I put Benjamin Cohen at the top. But this is where I think, he might be right, but this is also where I think he's going to wreck his followers. Because a lot of his followers are kind of just doing what he says, right? And the problem is they are not as rich as him, so they should take more risk. Benjamin Cohen is trying to completely time the bottom. And it might work, but I don't think it's smart. He can afford to miss out on Altseason. Most of us, we can't. We need Altseason to really make some good money. If I look at this chart, I'd be like, yeah, this is the top, this is the bottom. It's close enough already for me, right? Right? It's close enough. Look, it's almost there. Should we really wait to time it? Seems dangerous. What if it doesn't get there? Right? Also, this is The total, this is almost the same chart as others divided by Bitcoin, right? But others doesn't include USDT, but also no USDC, no Solana high caps, right? This chart is just the altcoin market without USDT. So there's not that much difference. And if I look at this chart, the one we first looked at, I'll be like, okay, well, we have a low, we have a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. This is diminishing losses as fuck, right? And then if I look at this chart, I'll be like, how weird if this chart also makes a higher low, right? That this is it. Again, I'm not saying it is, but there's a pretty good chance, right? And for us that don't try to time the bottom, we're pretty close. So this is also showing like, Altseason, we're either at the very start of it right now or very close. And I've been making some videos lately about, yo, guys, it's coming now, right? I've been saying this for a long time. End of 2024, beginning 2025. Look, I cannot say December or January or November or February, around that period. I can't time it by the month. What I do know is this. This is quite interesting, by the way, if you look at something time-related. If you look at the monthly chart for the Bitcoin dominance, right? Here you can see when Altseason happened, right? And we overlay the Bitcoin halvings. And this is just 2 out of 3, right? But still, we had the halving, and 7 months later, Altseason started. Okay. Here we had the halving, and what happened 7 months later, Altseason started. Right? Again, it's 2 out of 3. It's 2 out of 2. It's not 3 times. It's not a trend. I know that, but it is very interesting that we can either say, okay, this time it's also going to be 7 months, or at least something close to that, right? That it happened after 7 months here. Okay. That it happened after 7 months here as well. Could be a coincidence, but it's not that it's now going to take 15 months or anything, right? 7 is most likely, 8, 6, all possible, right? And yeah, if we look how far we are in right now, we're now at month number 5, right? And we're already more than halfway. So if we take it 7 months, it's December. Therefore, like, I would say, if I have to guess based on what I'm seeing right here, December would be the most logical month for us to get the start of Altseason. But again, I want to be cautious with that, because if it's January the 2nd and it didn't happen yet, then I know how people are going to respond right here. I'm not sure, of course. But it all kind of comes together. So that is interesting. But like I said, we do need Bitcoin to make new all-time highs. Now, look, Bitcoin, it is pushing now. But be careful, because it was really easy for people to be really bullish here, and here. And it so far, out of these 5 times, it all went down after that. So be a little careful short term, because yeah, it's nothing different so far than time number 6, right? And based on the history of the last 7 months, this is what eventually happens. Although I think there's a pretty good chance that we break this time after maybe a couple of days or weeks. So keep that in mind. Something else that's pretty interesting as well, by the way, if we remove all of this, then I want to show you something else altcoin related. When did Bitcoin make a new all-time high? Well, if you look at it the last time, you see that here Bitcoin broke the all-time high. 14 December 2020. Okay. If we go to the altcoin market and we mark off 14th December 2020. When was that? So, again, Bitcoin made new all-time highs that month, that week. What did the altcoin market do? Well, nothing, right? In fact, it wasn't even close to making new all-time highs. If you take it from here, then it still had 81% to go to get to the previous all-time high, let alone break it. We now have even 123% to go. Right, so there is still a long way to go for altcoins before they even go in price discovery. Right, so this is what happened. When did altcoins make new all-time highs? That was the break of it was here, January 25th, 2021. Right, if we go back to Bitcoin, January 25th, 2021, that's here. What did Bitcoin do? Before altcoins made new all-time highs and went into Altseason, Bitcoin already went 113% above its previous all-time high. So that I'm not saying that we need a $135,000 Bitcoin first to make all times go and make new all-time highs. But I am saying that we need a lot of money inflow from Bitcoin first. And a lot of people, they look at altcoin charts and be like, okay, yeah, you know, just buy it, buy the low, buy the day, buy the this, buy the that, and let's chart it, draw a line there. And then, like, at the end of the day, it all comes down to Bitcoin. All right? Now, like I showed you right here, Bitcoin is looking bullish as fuck, right? It's like, really... Look, I don't want to look at one chart and be like, oh yeah, this is it. But this chart is really bullish as fuck, right? If you take the ROI from the bottom. But even if you take the ROI from the cycle peak, right? And we look at where we are right now, Bitcoin is now finally catching up, right? It's already catching up with the cycle in 2021. We were lagging a lot, right? We were above it, basically, above both cycles. And now we are getting there. A couple weeks and a month or so, and we are sitting where we were in the last two cycles. So also this chart, bullish as fuck, right? Elections, bullish as fuck. Again, whether if Trump wins or Harris, doesn't matter. The fact that will be a new president is gonna be fucking bullish for the market, right? The rate cuts, bullish as fuck. There will be QE, bullish as fuck, especially for altcoins. It is really, really bullish, guys. And I know a lot of people say, yeah, we have wars right now. Last cycle, we had COVID, right? That didn't change a thing. So look at the bigger picture, right? So this is really looking bullish. Bitcoin is looking bullish, and I wouldn't be surprised if we are sitting at 80K within now and a month. Actually, before the end of November, there's a very good chance that we sit at 80K or higher. Also, if you take a look at Fibonacci extended for where we might go, then it's actually 90K is the big level. The first big level, right? And then we come in at 113, so 15 or give or take. So these are the first two big levels of resistance, in my opinion. Again, don't be surprised if Bitcoin, when it really runs, it still sucks up a little bit of the dominance, right? Again, if we overlay Bitcoin on the Bitcoin dominance, and you see when Bitcoin started to make new all-time highs, first the dominance went up a little bit right here, right? If you look at the cycle before that, Bitcoin made new all-time highs above 1,200. Here the dominance went completely sideways, by the way, so that's not really comparable. But if you look at last cycle, Bitcoin went up, dominance went up with it. People in altcoins still thought like, whoa, Bitcoin is finally going up. Altcoins still not doing shit. Fuck that, right? And then we got a huge alt season. That's kind of what happened. So I hope this gives a little perspective. I don't try to, be completely moon boy and say alt season any moment and pack your bags. But it's kind of now what I'm seeing, actually. Like, it's good to pack your bags. And alt season could pop off I would say December, give or take. Bitcoin within now and 1.5 months, 90K. Would not be surprised. Let's find out. For now, like the video if you like the video. Didn't forget anything on the charts, I think. Not really. No. All right. Cool. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notification on. And I'll see you guys very soon.